welcome to Brandix Reviews. This is part 2. Last time we were talking about the new Star Wars film, and in this one we're going to talk hopefully a bit more optimistically, and that is about the new Ghostbusters trailer. Obviously it's just a trailer. I mean, the Phantom Menace trailer looked amazing, but didn't hugely deliver on that. So.
Then again, Ghostbusters 2016 trailer did not look awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Yeah. Honestly, one of the worst trailers I have seen. That's not even getting into the rest of the film. Like, any other complaints in the film, like, just ignore all of that. That was before we'd even seen it, and our first thoughts on watching this was like, what the hell is this? This is like, I don't know, can't put my finger on why, but this is a really shit trailer.
Do you mind not being sexist, please? You're making me feel very uncomfortable.
Well, like I say, it wasn't even like the fact that there's like, now they're all gender swapped. It's like, this trailer is really bad. Like, what the fuck? Yeah. How did you do this?
Well, this one looks good, but point of this is we've got a mailbag request from, guess who it's from? Paul Cage.
Yeah, and no funny like misspellings. I'm disappointed.
Yeah, so he's put, I'll do a ball bag. I think he meant a mailbag, but I'm pretty sure he said that on purpose. So he's put, okay, so the new Ghostbusters trailer has been released. Firstly, what do you think to the vibes of the film? Secondly, what about the casting choices? And thirdly, what part do you think the original cast will play in the film? He's also going to ask about, as a follow-up, about Easter eggs, that kind of thing in there, so we'll get to that. But yeah, the vibes of the film, it seems like a different kind of film to the first two, but I mean, well, because it's such a long time since.
I mean, honestly, the first two films pretty much covered. Like, it would be difficult to make another film without just retreading the same ground. So if they want to do something slightly different, I'm not necessarily against that.
As long as it works, that's the main thing. Because I think it would be difficult to do one in the same tone. I mean, there's not that many films where they've come back after a long period of time. I mean, you've got, like, the only ones that I've really loved to the point where it's like, this is possibly even better than the original, is Creed compared to the Rocky films. And that was a fairly different aesthetic. But also Blade Runner 2049. In a lot of ways it was very similar, but again, it's something that they've done, and they've kind of come back after a long time, and it can be done. So I mean, with this, the vibe of the film, I think as well, this trailer, I get the impression that a lot of what is in this trailer is like the first third of the film, possibly. I kind of got that impression.
Well, this is only like the initial trailer, isn't it?
Yeah, like a teaser trailer. It's out in the summer, so yeah.
Like I said, just first blush, the trailer actually does excite me, which is more than the previous ones did.
Yeah, I mean, obviously James Bond is my big thing, and a couple of days before this was the Bond trailer, and I think trailer-wise, I think the Ghostbusters one was better than the Bond one. I'm nothing against the Bond one; I'm totally psyched for that, but I think the Ghostbusters one really intrigued me because I think the standard has been set fairly low after I know it was a remake, but it was still part of a franchise, isn't it?
Well, also when you're talking about like making the same film in this like similar vein, that's basically what Ghostbusters 2016 was. It was just same old Ghostbusters, just, well, now the women, that's enough of a change apparently.
Yeah.
Well, no, it really wasn't. It was a very average popcorn flick with some politics tagged on, and the politics was somehow supposed to carry it, and it's like, well, it doesn't. You haven't made a good film. You haven't made an interesting story. At best, this is something I will watch once and then forget about.
It was a very cringe-worthy film. It wasn't terrible. I've seen way worse films than that, but it was all the stuff surrounding it. But that's a different question anyway. But you do right mentioning it. It's cool. Paul's asked about the casting choices. It's got, is it Finn Wolfhard, the guy out of Stranger Things?
Yeah. Well, he's like, pretty much all the cast from Stranger Things are pretty good. So, I'm all for that.
And he was in the It reboot as well, remake.
I mean, the only thing to say against that is, as a fan of Stranger Things, the more success he has in things like this, the less likely it is we're likely to see him in future seasons of Stranger Things. It's a bit like, God damn it, stop being so good.
Yeah.
Damn.
But in terms of the cast, I don't think there's many other people. Obviously, Paul Rudd is in this, Ant-Man. He seemed perfect casting choice for this, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember which. I know another review was saying that it's like Paul Rudd. Like, if I had to name somebody I would like to see as like a Ghostbusters thing made now, would be
Yeah.
Yeah, so I can kind of agree with that.
He's got a bit of a sort of class about him that you had in some of the sort of 80s sort of stars like Steve Guttenberg and so on.
Yeah.
Like he was in Short Circuit and Police Academy. He's one of those kind of actors.
And he can definitely do, the comedy, so...
Yeah. And he doesn't age, that guy, ever, does he? He's in his 50s now. He looks like he's in his 30s. So thirdly, what part do you think the original cast will play in the film? I think they're just going to turn up at the end, basically. I kind of imagine that Dan Aykroyd is probably going to be the one that is used the most in it. From what I understand, everybody's in it apart from Lewis Tully, played by Rick Moranis. I believe pretty much most of the other ones are in it. Even Bill Murray might have a bit of a role in it as well. I think it'd be very minimal, but I just get the impression that Dan Aykroyd's going to be the main sort of guy to come into it and help out or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So that's pretty cool. I mean, they were all in the reboot, for God's sake, so I mean, I don't see why they wouldn't do this.
I mean, basically, Sony needs big wins because they've not had that many. I mean, they've certainly started pulling it back with, like, the Spider-Man things they've been doing, the Venom things they're doing. They really need, like, something as big as Ghostbusters to, like, stand and make the money, not just be, like, controversial and ultimately flop.
Yeah. Well, like I said, the other thing that Paul was asking was about some of the sort of hidden stuff that's in the trailer that might lead on to things. I wouldn't say it's hidden, but for, like, obviously fans of the original film that have seen it plenty of times...
Spores, moulds and funguses.
Yeah, there's that, yeah. There's one of the terror dogs, Zool monsters are called terror dogs, aren't they?
Zool, motherfucker, Zool.
So I'm pretty sure it's tied in with all that. And also it shows the mine that the thing comes out of in the trailer. I think it's connected to the Shandor Mining Company 1927 or something. Shandor was Ivo Shandor that built the building that Dana Barrett lived in that was like a big architectural sort of antenna to pull in the end of the world. And that was around the early 20th century. So if that's something you built in 27, that could be a big part of that. So again, it just seemed to tie in with what happened in the first Ghostbusters film. There's a few little things here and there like that, but I think that was the main one.
It also definitely doesn't seem to be a case of like, we're going to pretend the previous films didn't happen.
Yeah, exactly. And it shows some footage of the Ghostbusters on the news from back in 1984. Apparently that footage was pulled from the Sony archives. It was like unused footage, so you obviously see it from a different angle. Interestingly, I can't remember if I told you this, but remember in Ghostbusters 2 when Ray and Winston are at a kid's party and there's a kid that goes up to him and says, my dad says you're full of crap and that's why you went out of business. That's Jason Reitman, obviously Ivan Reitman, who directed Ghostbusters 1 and 2. That's his son, and he's actually directing this film. So when you're watching Ghostbusters 2, the director of Ghostbusters 3 is in the film when he was a little kid. So it's pretty cool. But yeah, in terms of anything else that's sort of hidden, there's plenty of other stuff that probably haven't covered, but I probably need a slideshow or something to go through, like pinpoint everything. But
and then we get like flagged.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but yeah, no. Hopefully, if they get it right, I mean, I'm really optimistic that this is something that could be decent and a good revisit back to something that we weren't expecting.
I mean, like I say again, to be like fair, like when they actually turned out a semi-decent trailer for the 2016, we were like, yeah, this could be good. This could be good. And we're sorry, like, yeah, it was crap. So, like I say, we're optimistic for this one as well, and we'll probably go and see this one as well.
Yeah,
hopefully with much better results.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's one thing that seems to happen whenever they try and do one of these like politically important films. Is usually though we will do something like that, and then they will think, all right, it will rest on its laurels. We don't need to do anything else. We don't actually need to turn in a good movie. I mean, we've done something important. We've like gender swapped them. That's enough. It's like, yeah, but the film wasn't that good to go with it. So all you've got to stand on is that. Like, hopefully without any of that nonsense going into this, they will actually be focusing on making a good fucking film.
Well, that's the thing, when they gender swap, it's not about giving women an opportunity to do something. It's that they make a point about women replacing men, and it's done in a spiteful way, and it's done with a kind of mythical aura of like women are so downtrodden and they don't get paid as much and men are all rapists and hashtag Me Too and all that gets brought into it, and it's a load of bollocks. It's like when they say the new James Bond franchise, like how's it going to fit in the hashtag Me Too era? It's like, since when has James Bond ever raped anyone? It's completely redundant, and it undermines the argument that if women are being sexually abused, if using that as an example, well, it just basically poisons the entire well. So anyway, that's a separate issue. So I'm available for children's parties. So yeah, like I say, I'm fairly positive about this. Hopefully it will be something that...
well, it's like kind of things. Another one, I think on the like references back is the Ecto one kind of side pops out and there's like a little gunner's seat.
Yeah.
Which is, that was the toys, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was on top in that. But I'm sure I remember there being like a sidecar coming out of it or something in the cartoon, but I can't seem to find that anywhere. But I know the toy did have like a thing on top, didn't it? Because, I used to have that. And you could put the seat in the back of the car as well, I seem to remember. But yeah, all good. Because I think the real Ghostbusters at one point was massive. And I never even really noticed this, but a lot of what was in Ghostbusters, the real Ghostbusters cartoon, was kind of implemented in Ghostbusters 2 with a film. Just little things like Slimer obviously being part of the team, that kind of thing. That was solely from the real Ghostbusters. There was no impression in the first film that was going to be the case.
Yes.
So yeah, I think we'll leave it there anyway. I don't think there's anything much else.
Well, like I said, much more optimistic towards this than we are towards Star Wars, given how the reviews are going.
Yeah, exactly. So
this is the upbeat review.
Yeah, we did this just to kind of make things a little bit better after the negativity of the last one, but you could check that out if you haven't already watched it. So I think this might be the last video of the year that we do. I don't think we're intending on seeing any more films this year. Certainly not Star Wars anyway. There is a Jumanji film coming out. It's weird because I remember Jumanji was the better film of 2017 compared to Star Wars, which I was not expecting at all. But probably going to be the case this year as well. So yeah, if we don't see you by the end of the year, I guess we'll just say have a happy Christmas, everybody.
Yep, Merry Christmas.
And we'll see you in 2020. And
hopefully with a better year for like franchises we like.
Yeah, it has been fairly mediocre this last year. We've had some good ones like Endgame and so on. Joker was a pretty good film. I didn't love it. I understand a lot of people did. That's great. Nothing majorly bad to say. But other than those, big franchise-wise, it was Godzilla. I liked it better than most people, I think. That was a big film.
I liked it well enough.
Yeah,
I finally got to see it. I quite liked it.
I bought it. But yeah, so hopefully next year won't be the same anyway. So, anybody want to knock it off?
He's a lazy. Welcome to Brand Next Reviews.
No, fuck off. Bastard.
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey!
He's a bastard.